So a lot of Nintendo fans are upset at the fact that Nintendo did not release Mother 3 in the United States. Like, how dare you do this to us, Nintendo? We've been begging for this game for years. We want our communist propaganda released right now on Nintendo Switch Online. You know, forget all the other games that are on there. We want Mother 3. Like, it's just the typical, like, raging thing you always see from, like, Mother 3 fanboys, right? You know, it is embarrassing. Always has been embarrassing. The game isn't impressive. It's not that good. Like, just get over it. Okay. Now, that's kind of my official stance on the matter. Also, Toby Fox is a hack. But my view on this, my thing that I came to a realization to, something that I don't think anybody else has noticed. Uh, we got a game that Japan has never got. Right? We got Blast Corps on the N64, a game that has never seen an N64 release for obvious reasons. You know, this is a game about like nuclear weapons, and Japan is the only country in the world that's been nuked twice. So of course, like there are some like reservations about releasing the game there. Okay, so Blast Corps never saw an official release in America, and I believe it's safe to say it also did not get a release on the N64 NSO app. Okay, and I think that just goes to show you just how little people tend to comprehend. Like they can't wrap their little tiny minds around like how sometimes different regions get different things for specific reasons, right? You know, we don't want that that communist crap like in our country, right? That could go back to where it came from and like just languish in irrelevancy, right? You know, we don't want Mother 3, okay? And just like Japan doesn't want Blast Corps, right? But I do think this is like something that we really need to acknowledge. Like, why exactly are gamers so hyper fixated on like specific niche games while like downplaying other great ones, right? That are coming out, right? Like, let's be real here. The Nintendo Direct was interesting because it kind of exposed how out of touch like the modern gamer actually is. Because people saw Endless Ocean and they were just like, oh, that's not a major release, like completely unaware that like Endless Ocean games can like go on indefinitely, that these are games you can like sink hundreds of hours into. Like if you get really into Endless Ocean, like you will be playing it for like forever. Okay, like it's one of those games, man. Like it's just something you can sink a lot of time into if you're into that kind of thing. And you know, obviously, it's not my thing. It's not something I'm super enthusiastic about. But like, I understand the appeal. I understand the audience. I respect the audience. And yet, we saw a lot of people throw shade at Endless Ocean, right? Like, oh man, you just scuba dive. Oh yeah, and there's no other game that does it better than Endless Ocean, right? So like, again, the game has every right to exist. It excels at what it does. Glad to see it come back. But again, like how many other announcements were there like that? You know, like Rareware games came back, right? You know, all these games that are legit classics. You know, stuff like Killer Instinct, stuff like Blast Corps, stuff like you know, Battletoads, right? You know, all this stuff that came out, right? You know, you had people coming out trying to say like, who remembers Killer Instinct? That's an obscure game. You know, I saw Demish like straight up saying that. And meanwhile, you can find like Killer Instinct documentaries, you know, that featured major gaming YouTube personalities like Maximilian Dude explaining why Killer Instinct is such a big deal, right? Like he will specifically tell you like Killer Instinct is the reason he got into competitive fighting games, right? Like Killer Instinct absolutely does have its place in history, even though it's fallen on hard times because of the Microsoft acquisition. Like this really should have been an IP that stuck with Nintendo. It's so frustrating that it went with Rare, but like again, Killer Instinct is not an obscure property. Okay, you know, Blast Corps has become like kind of known as a N64 hidden gem, right? I know I have people in the audience who disagree with that, but it is true, you know. And like you have like RC Pro AM, which I think is a legit like classic NES game. Like there were so many good Rare games in that collection. I'm like thrilled, you know, to be playing all these Rareware games again. And yet you're seeing people like throw up their hands saying, "Oh, that doesn't matter at all. I wanted Mother 3." Yeah, well, I don't. So I guess Nintendo listens to me and not you. Okay, like I don't care about Mother 3. You know, never like I have no interest in that thing. Like in that pro communist propaganda, right? Like I am just no, no, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, but yeah, this kind of goes into what I've been saying about like every Nintendo Direct. It really feels as if everyone is trying to come out and trying to say that like Nintendo did something wrong or that they disappointed the fans or the Switch is on the way out. Like how many people have like done a Nintendo Direct presentation like video for the past like year and have been like, well, that proves it. The Switch 2 is coming out in 6 months. Like, how many times have we seen that from all these people? Like, I saw beat 'em ups do it like today. Like he's just like, oh, this proves the Switch 2 is coming. Like, no, you fucker. Like, it is, it is like, it is a complete joke. It is unbelievable that this keeps happening. But I do think a lot of people are like beginning to get tired of it. And like, Shigesatu a toy complained about people asking him for the Mother 3 localization, and I just let it go, guys. The game isn't going to sell when it does come out. It's not some phenomenal like RPG. It's not that big of a deal. Like it's just a curiosity at this point. It really is one of those games that I think just does not deserve its reputation. I've said this like several times, but like I just don't think that Mother 3 like lives up to the hype. Now, like it's something that a lot of people have attached themselves to, especially like Wokies, like Undertale. Like a big reason Undertale probably exists is because of Mother 3 and the Earthbound community and like those people, people. Like and so like Mother 3 is indirectly responsible for one of the biggest cancers of like the past decade. But I um I just don't care for Mother 3. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it released. Have no interest in it. I would rather see like dozens of other games come out before it. Like we still don't have ActRaiser. We still don't have like Donkey Kong 64. We still don't have like the original Battletoads. We still don't have like a lot of really good, great games from that era that need to come out before it. Right? Like especially on the Game Boy Advance, right? Like there are so many games they could put out on the GBA that like I just don't we just haven't seen yet. So like why exactly would you look at all that great stuff and then just be like, "Oh, I would rather play Mother 3." Like I don't take you seriously if you think that. Like, why would you get upset about Mother 3 not coming out in North America, right? It's not that big of a deal.